Okay folks, I'm going to tell you a wee Scottish shrimp fly pattern, and the pattern I'm going to tie is called the blue shrimp. This is a pattern from Davy McPhail. So the hook I have in the face is a size 10 partridge patriot double. The thread that I'm going to use off to start tying the fly is uni thread 80 in white. That's simply I just want to keep the back body as bright as I can. So I'll just come in, get my thread started behind the eye of the hook, snap on a few turns and remove the waist tag. Now the rib and the tag on the fly is going to be an oval silver tinsel in small. So just taking it off the spool here. Now it's a Vineyards, that's a size 14 I believe. So just going to come in, attach the tinsel underneath the hook, just tie it in underneath, bring your tinsel underneath the hook and then just run your thread down, tying in the tinsel. Now I'm just going to bring the thread down until I'm in line with the point of the hook, and then I'm going to come around with 4 turns of the oval silver tinsel, and on the 5th turn just bring it up, and in between the 2 hooks come around with a turn to hold, then a couple of turns to secure, and then I'm going to come in and just take away the waist or the axis of the oval silver tinsel. Now on the original pattern that Davy tied, he would have used a red natural golden pheasant breast feather. I'm just using a dyed red golden pheasant breast feather, so just leave any extra colour. So I'm just going to come in, just broke back the fibres just to reveal the tip. I'm just going to offer it up to the hook, come around with a turn to hold, another turn to secure. I'm going to fold back the tip, just bring my thread turns back over the tip and the hackle. Now just get my thread up out of the way, just give me room to work. Keeping a hold of your tip, just come in, trim it away. Then we're just going to take one turn in front of the other. Just going to fold these back. We'll take one turn in front of the other to create the tail. I'm going to use up the full feather. So bring it right round. Bring my thread back into position. Keeping the hold of the stem. Just come around with the thread, catch it in. A couple of nice tight turns now. What I want to do, I want to keep the stem underneath. I'm going to try and keep the rear body here as smooth as I possibly can. So keeping the thread tight, I can break the stem away now, just to bring out the fibres of your tail. Just come in with an old brush and just brush out the fibres of your tail. Then on the way back down, excuse me, I'm going to tie in another length of the oval silver tinsel underneath again. Bring the oval silver tinsel underneath the hook. Now I'm going to take my thread down, tie it up against my tail, nice and tight. Now it's a light blue floss that's used. I don't have a light blue uni floss, but I do have Glow Bright floss in number 14, so I'm going to use this. So I'm just going to come in, catch the floss in, just bring it in the length, and then I'm going to run my thread up, tying this in nice and tight. Now I'm going to whip finish the white thread off. Just going to come in, whip finishing tool, a couple of whip finishes, then we can trim away the thread. Now we can bring up our Glow Bright floss. So just looking a couple of tight turns under the tail, and then just going to bring my floss, the Glow Bright floss, up just to create the body. Up to there. Now I'm going to come in with my uni thread in red and 80 just to finish off. Now I'm going to hold the floss tight, then come in with my thread, just run on a few turns, then you can come in and trim away the waist. Now, just going to bring my red thread down to meet the Glow Bright floss, and then I'm simply just going to do 1, 2 turns to catch in the Glow Bright. Push this thread out of the way, come in with your scissors, trim away the glow braid floss. Now, all I'm doing is just using materials that I have. So I'm just going to come in with my oval silver tinsel, looking 3 turns of the oval silver tinsel on the body of there, following around with the thread, 1 turn to hold, a couple of turns will secure that in, then come in and trim the excess. Now you can use a light blue cock haggle for the mid haggle, but I'm just going to use a light blue hen. So I'm just going to come in and stroke back the fibres to reveal the tip. After the feather up the hook, 2 turns to secure it in, fold back the tip, a couple of turns back over. Come in, you can locate the tip, you can break it away. Then I'm just going to fold the fibres back on the stem. I'm just looking to do 1 turn in front of the other. Now, I'm only going to put 2 turns of the hen haggle in, because I think that's all it needs, but if you think it needs more, if you're using a hen haggle, you put more on your fly. So I'm just going to bring it up to there. Just going to follow it across with my thread. Nice tight turns into the stem. Nice and tight. Now I'm just going to keep my thread tight. I'm going to take off the excess. I'm just going to keep the stem in underneath. I'm going to run this up the second part of the body to there, keeping my thread tight, break it away. Now, just come back in with my brush and just brush it out a bit. Way back there, I'm going to catch in another length of the oval silver tinsel. A couple of turns, catch it in underneath, bring it underneath, and then I'm going to bring the thread down, tight up against the mid haggle. Now, it's a red floss it's used for the front body, but just to brighten it up a wee bit, I'm going to use a Chinese red floss and uni floss. So I'm just going to take a length of this off, trim it away from the spool, staffer it up to the hook, just put it into length. I'm just going to run my thread up, tying in the floss to there, and then just like any floss, just 1 nice tight turn onto the mid haggle, and just bring your floss up to create your body. Up to there, keep the hold of the floss, follow it across with your thread, 1 turn to hold, a couple of turns will secure that in. Then I'm just going to come in and trim away the excess of the Chinese red floss, then come up with a rib. 3 turns of the oval silver tinsel, follow it up with your thread again, a couple of turns will secure that in, come in, trim away the excess. Now you can put your jungle cock on at this point if you wish, it's up to you. I like to put my jungle cock on after. So the front haggle is a silver badger haggle, cock haggle, so I'm just going to come in, stroke back the fibres to reveal the tip, 2 turns to catch in the tip, fold the tip back, it turns back up over the tip and the haggle, come in, locate the tip, you can break it away. I'm just going to come in with my scissors and just run my scissors up the stem of the haggle, stroking the fibres back, and then just going to come around with 1 turn in front of the other. Now I'm only going to put 2 turns onto this too, because it's a nice thick fibre. To there, follow it around with my thread, turn into secured, a couple of nice turns. Now I'm going to fold back the stem, I'm going to bring my thread back up over the stem, just to secure it all in, nice and tight. Keeping my thread tight, come in, I can break away the stem of the haggle. Now, there's a wee fibre there, so I'm just going to come in and just push it back. Just get a couple of tight turns in, just to hold everything in position. Now I'm going to put the jungle cock on. So this is the cape here. So I'll just come in and get two eyes. Just want two nice eyes, so just bear with me. I've got two here. So got the two eyes here. What's in there? And I'm just gonna hold the tips and just stroke back the rubbish. Not stripping it away, I just want to stroke it back. I'm just going to come up now for this up to the hook. Just going to hold them down the sides. Just going to come around with a couple of loose turns. Now, just to hold it in place. And then I come in and just check. See what way we're sitting. Now, just want to bring this one round a bit. Just make sure that they're the same length before I tie them in. Okay, I'm happy enough with that. So I'm going to just tighten up now the turns down to the eye. Okay, I'm going to fold the stems of the jungle cock back. Bring the thread to the eye. And then I'm just going to build up my head at this stage. Just pull the head up over the top of the stems of the jungle cock, nice and tight. Now, if you keep your thread tight, you can come in and you can break away the stems. And then I'm just going to come in with my whip finishing tool and just throw in a whip finish. Pull the thread nice and tight. Then trim away the thread. Now, just to finish off, just going to seal the head up with some super glue just on the head. Don't want this nowhere else. Just on the head, right the whole way right round, and then once that's dried, excuse me, I'll come in, put a couple of coats of varnish on, just to seal the head up. So that's just I suppose a variant of the blue shrimp. I've just used Glow Bright floss at the back, just using the materials that I have. I have red floss, but I just wanted to use the Chinese red just to lift it a wee bit. So look, looks a cracking wee fly. I've never faced it, but I'll be facing it this season, hopefully, all being well. We'll get on to the river. So tie a few up and hopefully I can catch you a few fish.